Welcome, guys. It's another Wednesday, and we are here. Today, we just have Renee and myself. Rob and Emma could not make it, so we're just here, the two of us, and we're definitely going to be doing this old school or when we just started. So,
Yep.
uh, but today's topic is going to be about something that we face on a daily basis. So, if you guys are reading the description, you're watching this on YouTube, and you read the description below, you will notice. Sorry, you will notice that I gave a little bit of an idea of the challenges that not many people online in terms of marketing will speak about it because firstly you're not attracting the right customers and so on and so forth. Like there are many reasons to why, and I get why we should have pain points that we can go to in terms of marketing, but not sometimes focus on the challenges that we face. Although when you start the journey, as they start the journey, and you go ahead with achieving certain kind of either success or results or something, there are blockers that come in your way, which is normal. I think in any business or in your life for that matter, you will definitely get a roadblock saying, "How do I pass this?" But those challenges are not shared that much. So in today's whole success starts with a plan, we want to deviate a little bit from the normal kind of webinar that we have, but rather give you the tough times, the times where you go and you have to make a decision regarding how to move forward because you're stuck at the moment. I've had those stages. I know Renee as well. I recently had those. Something happened to me about yesterday, actually, to be honest, and I will definitely get to that and share that with you guys here. But that is just one of the elements. You can still surpass, let's say, all of these struggles or these challenges that we face. And more than anything else, I hope that this comes across in the webinar today because we're really mindful of this as well. Is the mindset behind how we break through those walls, how we break through those barriers, because they come to us on a daily basis. Just pure procrastination can be a difficulty for you, and if that is, then that is one of the easiest things to get over
Yeah.
if you're committed to it. And if you can commit to that, then you can commit to solving any other problem that you have as well. So that's why I'm starting off with it. But I'll leave it to you, Renee, and I'll get back to a few topics as well.
So basically, I'm not sure how you wanted me to actually get started, but one of the things that we've been talking about is issues with payment processors. Okay, is this how you wanted me to talk and address?
Yeah, we can go into payment processes maybe directly because I think that's something that people face, well, let's
Mhm.
say,
Okay.
before even joining a product or before even joining somebody or buying something.
Yeah.
So I think that we can start off with that, but you can go into the other struggles also. There's no problem.
Um, bas- Basically, there's struggles online with um, for whatever reason having to replace a program for different reasons. It could be a payment processor. It could be that just a program just doesn't seem to be working the way you wanted it to be, or it just doesn't. Once you get into it, you decide it doesn't necessarily resonate with you. Now that doesn't mean, and again, I say this with the mindset behind it, as David talks about, is that um, before you even decide whether a program does or doesn't work for you, if it doesn't like get shut down, or if it doesn't, leave you instead of you leave it for whatever reason, you have to look inside yourself and say, am I committing fully to this actual program before you even decide that? But things do happen, and the reason why we have a system in place is so that if you do need to actually go ahead and replace something, you still have the plan. And you have to go through things that you want to think about to make sure that what you're replacing it with fits in with what your plan is. Okay? So for instance, you like David and I do, we have an instant cash strategy. I'm just using this as a specific example. You want to make sure if something happens with your instant cash strategy, like your lead off business that may have that instant cash strategy, you want to make sure that what you're replacing it with is either something having to do with your instant cash strategy, but just maybe a different program, or something that is similar to that. Like you might use that as your lead magnet or your self-funded proposal, which we've talked about in one of our earliest webinars we did. You want to make sure that what you're actually replacing it with makes sense with the plan that you've set up. Okay. Sometimes that's an easy task, sometimes it's not, but it's a matter of you deciding what really fits into the system, and sometimes you have to totally revamp. Okay, I'm just saying it. You just have to do that. But the fact that you actually have something in place and you have not just different resources as far as services and products you're going to offer, but actually community of people that have, things that are working, things that are not working. You just have to make sure that it lines up, number one, with what your values are, lines up with what your system really has to do with, um, and lines up with whatever system, marketing system, or any traffic that you're going to use, if you're going to use paid traffic, and how you're going to do that. You just have to make sure that it makes sense to do that and it doesn't disrupt too much in your life. Or if you have a team, that it doesn't necessarily disrupt their life if for whatever reason. Okay. Sometimes it only affects just a few people. Okay. Other times it affects a lot, and you have to keep that in mind when you're making these decisions. And that's literally what leaders do, is you literally have to look at the big picture of things many times, because it doesn't necessarily only affect you if others are aligning with you and following with you. So basically what has happened is a payment processor for one of the programs just isn't necessarily working for certain countries, and a certain payment processor has been shutting people's accounts down, and it's just becoming um, annoying and difficult to manage that. So with that being said, you have to go and look at, okay, what makes sense to fit in here? Do we find something that has a different type of payment processor? Do we find a different type of strategy to put in there? There's a lot of factors weighing in, um, and that's literally why what I kind of wanted to start out with, that you can actually address as well. So let me know if that's kind of where the direction you were going with this.
Yeah, for sure. Um, just to give you guys an example, I'm just going to lead off something that Renee said. If you are in a way deciding the challenges that you face, okay, now say it's, and you decide to switch a program away from, or an opportunity away from your system. Remember, we are leveraging those opportunities. So it's not that we don't believe in them. We are taking that decision before we go. But if you go to the store and you buy a packet of milk of a specific brand and it doesn't suit you and you have issues with it, you change the brand or you get some. You can go always back, and that's why you have stores, that's why you have products, that's why you have services. It's not like you cannot choose. Some people will resonate with just one, some people will resonate with all, and say, I'm hoarding milk, for example. Stupid example, but to give you guys that.
Example. It's a great example because it really describes why you had to change that brand. It's literally it.
Yeah. So this has happened to me personally.
I'm not sure if we lost David or David lost me. Um, I can't hear anything, and I don't know if it's on my end or on David's end. I honestly don't know. Are you there, David? I honestly can't tell, but I think what he was starting to talk about is that one of his payment processors for a program that he was using shut his account down just a few days ago. And the same thing happened with me, with the same company. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it because it's happening to a lot of people. It's PayPal. And PayPal is one of those things that is very widely known, everybody knows, but in many ways, PayPal thinks that they
Sorry, guys, I have no idea if we're still live. I just want to go and actually check that. Had some connectivity issues, but I guess Renee will pop on right now as well. Let me just tell her. Sorry about that, guys. I was in between. Yeah, maybe now should be okay. Sorry, guys. I like I said, I had some connectivity issues. I hope we're still live. Actually, I want to check the link whether we are still live on YouTube. But
it says live, but I'm not sure.
yeah, I just want to double check if we are because that'll be good to know. I don't know. I lost my train of thought in exactly what I was saying. So I will get to it.
You were starting to get into what happened to you, literally
Yeah.
with and decisions that you may or may not be making. So that's literally what you started to say. What happened to you? Literally.
Yeah. Perfect. It is working. So we are live. Great. Um, that being said, as Renee said, I was talking about exactly what happened to me, right? So I could have stopped and actually decided not to go ahead or find or struggle or think about it as a complete issue, or I could find a way to get through it. And my simple method, and this is a way that I had thought of a long time ago to avoid anything. So when I used to first and foremost look out for an opportunity or actually do something a long time ago, I always looked at the payment methods, the payment options, and I decided a long time ago that I would create many multiple accounts with different payment processors just so that I avoid any kind of drawback at any point of time. So this does help me, right? Because if I have excluded one, I can accept through another. The second thing that comes to mind is that, okay, should I continue with that program or should I not? And this is something that I think is very personal. I wouldn't say it's up to you, or I mean, I wouldn't say it's up to me or anybody else to tell you what to do in that sense. You have to weigh the pros and cons. And this is something that I would give you an example with my marketing system. Okay, clear example. This is what happened. Like I said, they were paying me through a certain payment processor, the same payment processor that we're talking about before, right? Uh, and the marketing system that I have is an affiliate has an affiliate offer as well. So I would be getting paid through uh, uh, the certain payment processor. But now, with the issues that I have, I cannot receive funds through that payment processor. I cannot use them. Even if I receive funds through that payment processor, I cannot actually use it. So, what's the point in having it, right? The only other option that my marketing system offers is checks, but that's only for US members. So, which leads me to a decision, a very, very important decision, right? This is where you come into it. Should I continue with this marketing system or not? And my answer is I want to. I am used to it. I like it. I have no issues with it. I spoke to the owner and I said, hey, this is my problem. It's going to be that way. I reached out to support. I told them my issues. They did implement checks. That I don't know whether they're going to do it for internationally. They might. But does it affect my running of my business? Because I can still get access to the tool. I'm still using the tool. Yes, I'm not getting paid from the tool. Okay, let's take that out. But what does that change for me? All that changes for me is says, guys, if you want, this is the tool that I use. If you don't want it, don't get it. It doesn't really matter. I can still continue doing business because that tool is what I need to be a product of the product of. So if you're in the mindset of finding a solution, of finding the reasons behind it, and this is a clear example of you need to weigh your options in front of you and see what you want.
Mhm.
I reached out. I've done my due diligence, let's say, in terms of figuring out or trying to find a solution to get paid. But if it's not possible, it's not possible. I'm going to use the tool any which ways because it's a fundamental tool that I need in my business. And I can look for other options. I can. But this is where I went back, right? When I went to look for other options of finding other marketing systems, I was not looking for other marketing systems. I was looking for an opportunity to get paid. I was looking at the affiliate side. And that's where I stopped myself for a second. I said, I'm giving the wrong message then, right? I'm giving the wrong message. I'm giving the wrong ethics in work ethics. I'm giving the wrong values that I have because I'm actually changing my marketing system just because of the funds that I would receive. Not because the marketing system is not working for me, but how am I going to receive commissions? So my whole focus, if you get my point, was shifting just because of money. And that's where I
Mhm.
personally had to stop. Maybe for you it's different. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what is, but for me that was not the case, right? The tool is working perfectly. I enjoy it. I love the resources that it gives me. There's no issues. And this is not even their problem. It's not even the company's issue. It is because of the payment processor. Now, obviously, they can look at it from a company perspective. Yes, but they have not done anything wrong. So why should I stop using a tool that I love so much just because of the payment processor, right? So these are the kind of struggles that you come up with on or challenges that you face, and this is very realistic on a day-to-day
Mhm.
basis. And I'm happy to speak about specifically the payment options, but I think the same thing might come through in terms of making videos, or these are challenges that people have. You join somebody or you join a specific program that tells you go out and make videos on a daily basis. I would recommend that, just saying. I would, but if you are not taught the right way, that is going to be your first challenge, right? That is going to be a challenge that you need to face personally. Second thing is, I don't understand the information in front of me. How do I translate that to what I'm actually doing in order to take action? So, a lot of the times you notice that we talk about consistency and skill sets. The reason why we talk about these things is because that's the practical side of it. So, you go into specifically the challenges that you face when it comes to setting up a funnel, when it comes to writing an email, when it comes to sending a broadcast, when it comes to follow up series, cleaning your list. I'm just giving you email marketing examples, but it's the same thing with if you go into free methods and looking at Facebook. These are all blockers or challenges that you might have within your business. So never expect, this is something that I really wanted to say, never expect that it's going to work for you, because if it works for somebody else, doesn't mean that it's always going to work for you. Okay, it should mean that it's easy for you to get through those blockers, and that's the message that comes across in the marketing. If I can do it, so can you. What it means to say is that if the blockers were there, in my path and I was able to throw them out with, a simple flick of my finger, then you can do the same, right? But I don't expect the difficulty, or it might be that you need a complete hand, your hand to move the rock off the road, and I just need a finger or whatever. And that's the kind of thing. So you will find different levels within it, but it's still possible to overcome. So that's the message that we're giving out. It's still possible to overcome. It's still possible to go ahead, but you might face these challenges just because we're human beings at the end of the day. So it's good to be aware of the things that you might face. Okay, so for example, another thing that I know many new people, including myself, and I'm not sure, I guess even Renee in that sense, we oversimplified, and I say oversimplified, our beginnings. So what I mean by this is that if I see a program and I see, oh, the sales video is telling me that I can make X amount in this many days, I oversimplify it because the
Mhm.
calculations that I'm doing it in my head, I'm guaranteed. I don't realize, but at that moment when I'm guaranteeing myself, I'm creating a blocker for myself to actually create that result. So at the end of the day, we can be those blockers for ourselves as well. It's
Yep.
just it's just a matter of changing those things. I don't know if you want to add something, Renee, because I know you have to run. So
Yeah. What I wanted to add goes along with what you were saying. That's why we talk about your mindset. You have to be every single day knowing in your mind how to overcome these challenges. The more you read the right kinds of books, the more you listen to the right kind of podcasts and audios, the more you work on yourself every single day. Trust me, I've been doing this for I've made a huge commitment for the past 3 years to make sure that every single day I work on my mindset so that I can overcome any challenges that are going to come up. My first thing that I had to overcome when I first started is I had no clue about like any systems whatsoever. And I had to learn that. But if I hadn't been working on myself, I would have quit from day one. I would have said, no, this is not for me. But the thing is, you have to be the type of person, if you're going to be successful, you have to be the type of person who's going to make that commitment to know that, guess what? Challenges are going to happen. How am I going to handle it? Am I going to handle it, by, flying off the handle and getting really upset and just quitting? Or am I going to handle it where I step back and say, okay, this happened. Now, how do I move forward? The best way is to know that there is a solution somewhere. The solution might be you have to change a program, or the solution is, like you said, you're going to keep the program, but you're just maybe not going to get commission on it. You just have to decide for yourself what's best for you, and in order to do that in a way that's effective is having the right mindset. That's why, I talk about this all the time, where you have to be the type of person who's going to be committed to yourself, number one, and your business, and they go hand in hand. So yeah, I do apologize because I have to leave in a few minutes. I have an appointment that I'm running to, but I can stay for a few more minutes. But I just wanted to add that to what you were saying, because it's absolutely true.
yeah, you can hop off at any point of time.
Okay.
I might continue for a bit, but I mean, go ahead
Absolutely.
and if you need to. Um, yeah, but thank you so much. I mean, I think really it makes a lot of sense to talk about this raw and authentic as we're doing at the moment, because even though I'm not sure how many people are watching this live or will watch the replay, it doesn't really matter for that reason. Is that we are here and we always will link, to the previous webinars. You can check those out. That being said, also you can find links to Renee's YouTube at the moment. I haven't changed it to the groups. I apologize for that. But Renee's YouTube, Emma's YouTube, as well as Rob's and myself, all in the description. So feel free to reach out to us at any point of time, because we really want to support. And if you see the topics that we're covering every single week, they're very realistic topics that help conversion, that help you with your mind, that help you with actually taking action. So it goes from literally following the plan that we've set in place. And I mean, just today I was thinking about the way it works. It doesn't matter when you do what, because you still can take that action to overcome what you have not yet done. And I'll give you an example of what because it's very vague what I just said. um, I made a video last week for a Wednesday, and I forgot to publish it. Not because I didn't want to publish it, because I was completely, um, let's say, I was occupied with life in general and things were
Mhm.
happening, so I couldn't
It
publish the video.
happens.
But I know I specifically said in that video Wednesday and stuff like that. So I said, that's going to be difficult. I can't publish it on any other day because it said Wednesday. So even though that's a stupid mindset to have in the first place, because I could publish it on any other day, it doesn't matter when I make the video. But I said, okay, it's gone. The week is gone. I didn't publish it. I'm not going to go back. Today's Wednesday. I'm going to publish it today. You know, those are the small wins that you can make, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. Those are the small things that you realize that nothing goes to waste. Whatever work you put in, the important thing is to get through it and actually do it. Recently, I was having a conversation with another online marketer, very good friend of mine actually. We're becoming closer and closer as we go, and this is the beauty of online marketing, because you reach out and you connect with people and you build these kind of relationships. And just to give you his background a little bit, there was he never wanted to do anything very in your face, let's say, in terms of video and stuff like that. He was focused on the results, and that was his blocker for him. Okay, and I'm starting off with the mind, but then there's a technical aspect to it as well. The moment he removed that and said, I'm just going to be myself, he started to make videos better. He started to rank better. He started to, there's a whole chain of progressions, whether it's technical, whether it is yourself, or whether there's anything else also along the way. You start. It's strange to think about it, but the more challenges you have, the more you start to be solution oriented.
That is so true. I'm going to just say that and hop off. Good stuff. I can't wait to see the replay, David.
See you, Renee.
All right, bye-bye.
So yeah, that is one of the things that I would specifically focus on, in terms of saying that it starts here. It starts literally with your mind, in terms of breaking that barrier. And I know that you might have heard this a lot, but I've given you a lot of examples in this webinar today that I hope you take and either resonate with it or actually look at your life. And it's very good to be open for feedback on everything that you have, or bounce ideas off another person. There's no shame, there's no harm in doing that. Okay, I definitely have a support system in terms of online marketers, and that helps me bounce ideas off of when these kind of problems happen. I need to learn. That's the growth aspect of it. That's the challenge comes when you are not mentally prepared. That is one of the reasons why 98% or 97%, whatever the numbers are at the moment, uh, of the average online a new person who starts an online business fails, because they're doing it for the wrong reasons, either themselves or they've not thought it through. They don't realize that there are going to be blockers. There are going to be things that I can't get through at the moment. I'm struggling with. Is anybody? I would ask the question. In fact, you can post them in the comments below as well. If you think about it and ask yourself, have you ever flown to another country? Have you ever applied for a visa? Have you ever done something which is government related or bureaucratic, let's say, right? There is a procedure, there's a process that goes through step one, step two, step three, and sometimes you're waiting months, sometimes you're waiting weeks for those certain things to get done, right? What are those weeks of waiting? They're blockers. But you still get through it. You don't get frustrated by it. I mean, you do, but you don't let it stop you from getting your side of the work done and leaving it on the other side of the table so that they get it done as well. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking. Persistence. Consistency is about that persistence in your direction, about that persistence in what you want to achieve. So having and this I'm being sharing a little bit more about my vision these days, but specifically the challenges that I personally face when it comes to technicalities, I don't even think about them anymore. I used to, because like, how do I write an email? I need to write a story. Okay, this is a blocker for many people, and it's something that's why I tell a lot of people who want to join me in Aweber. I say, hold on a minute. If you don't know how to write an email, let's have a call. Let me help you at least initially, and then go and research a little bit more. Go. There's so much of free knowledge that you can find, but that's an initial blocker. Why? Why do I tell you stop, or I tell people to stop? Simply because I feel that the moment they start and fail, they're going away because they're not mentally prepared. They're running away from it rather than actually, sitting down and actually facing it. And if they face it, those people are actually highly prepared to succeed. They're not doing it. So I say, wait, we'll talk about it and give you some resources. Go do some research and start. Just start. You'll get better at it. I remember when I first started emailing, the way I got better at it, was I said, I'm not just going to write a follow-up series. Because if I write a follow-up series, then I've done it once and I change it every 3 months and stuff like that. And not enough practice, David. Not enough practice for you to go away from this technical side or this technical block or challenge that I had. So daily emails, focus on certain aspects of the training, have once a week training, either with the free webinar that Igor Kafitz has. You can check them out, they're everywhere. Lots of value. Or talk to a solo ad vendor, get to know how they're writing the emails, and start to implement those strategies. Okay, at the end of the day, your content cannot be replicated or duplicated by anybody if you are putting out your content on a daily basis. So I had to convince myself that writing every day was important. And I said, how do I come up with ideas? What am I going to do in my day? Or what do I want to do in my day? That was the first thing. What do I want to do in my day? So I changed my blocker by just saying, what do I want to do with my day? And starting off with writing about what I want to do with my day. So I used to manifest what I wanted through my email. You see, that's the kind of reason why I'm saying the important thing is about taking action and being consistent. But if you have that blocker, get a little bit of help, get a push, and overcome it. Simple as that. Okay. I don't have much to say regarding the other challenges. If you guys have any other challenges in your business that you see or you want us to cover, feel free to let us know. Okay. The payment processor issue or the funnels that we have, we will have these kind of issues in the future as well. It has been an ongoing issue in the industry for, I can't even say how long, maybe 10 years or even more. And it's really up to you how you want to define yourself. Because even, for example, you go and you say, I will only accept cryptocurrency. You have a very niche market when it comes to people who already know about cryptocurrency, and then people who don't. So it's up to you to decide on how to get through this. But hasn't stopped anybody for a long time, and it's not going to stop me or anybody else. It's a matter on how we implement the plan. So don't worry about the payment processes or anything. There's always going to be issues, but we are all here to help each other out and face those issues and actually go ahead. So that being said, guys, thank you for those who are watching this live on YouTube. For everyone else who's watching the replay, guys, feel free to comment. Let us know your thoughts, because we love to come out here on every single Wednesday at 10 p.m. Central European time. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys. And we will be here next Wednesday as well for another webinar. And you guys can reach out. The chat is available on YouTube as well. I'm not sure. I think I closed my YouTube page at the moment, but the chat is available on YouTube. I'm usually there on the chat as well in case you need any kind of assistance, and we can answer people's questions as we go along. That being said, guys, I'm going to see you guys on the next week episode of Success Starts with a Plan. Feel free to reach out to any of us, My name is David Pinto. They also call me Tips with Dave, and I want to thank you once again for being here on the webinar. We're going to see you next week. Ciao, ciao.